Welcome back. Now, we've got factorising part number 3, and we're looking at factorising cubics. Now, at GCSE, you would have already met cubics, and you would have factorised them too. So this should be just a good reminder of how to factorise your cubics, and then we can move straight on to the next topic. So, let's get cracking. Here is a cubic. We've got x cubed plus 7x squared. Now, how do you factorise it? Well, the first thing you want to do is always take out your common factors. So you look at your two terms. What is the greatest common factor between those two terms? The greatest common factor there is going to be x squared. So you take that and you put that outside of your bracket. That's what you're going to take out of each of these. And so what's left behind? Well, we're going to have an x and then a plus 7. And that's it, done. How do you check your answer? Well, to check it, just expand it back out and you'll see that you get back to the original expression that you started with. Now, next, here's another cubic. Let's look at factorising this. Now, what's the common factor between x cubed and this minus 49x? That's just going to be an x. And so if you take an x out, what's left behind? Well, you've got x squared minus 49. But with this one, you're actually not finished. You can factorise this further. Now, you've got to be on the lookout for any square numbers. So can you see this here? You see this minus 49, 49 is a square number. And so that's going to trigger in your brain that the difference of two squares could be around here somewhere. And so let's check this out. Can this factorize even further? Yes, it can. And so you'll have x, and then this can go into two further brackets, x plus 7 and x minus 7. So that there is fully factorized. Now, if you left it at this stage, unfortunately, you're only getting 1 mark, all right? But then if you spot that it's the difference of two squares, get it to this over here. So your x plus 7, x minus 7, you're getting both your marks, all right? So that is where you want to end up. So do look out for that. Every time you see a square number, you want to be a bit suspicious. Think, is this the difference of two squares? Now, here's one more. Let's start again by just taking out our common factors. So look at the 3 terms. What's your common factor there? It's just an x, okay? But before, let me just write this out again actually. So we've got a bit more space here. Let's go 2x cubed minus x squared minus 10x. There we go. And now we said our common factor is an x, so let's just take that out. So we've got x on the outside, and we'll have 2x squared minus an x and then minus 10. That's what's left behind. Now this time, in our bracket, I think we might be able to factorize this a little bit further. Okay, so this is a quadratic, could factorize. Now, we're going to check if it factorizes. I've put out some instructions here on the left for us to follow to factorize quadratics. If you need a bit more practice, make sure you check out part 2 of the factorizing series of videos. Link is down here, right? So check it out. Now, let's get going. How do we start? We start by labeling. So we label the coefficient of x squared as a. So I'm going to put that there. So a is representing the number 2. B is the coefficient of x, which is going to be a minus 1, because we've got minus 1 in front of the x. And then c is a constant term on the end, which is just minus 10. Next, multiply a and c together. So a times by c, that's 2 times by negative 10, which is going to be minus 20. Then we're going to note down what b is. So b was minus 1, wasn't it? And now what we're going to do is think of pairs of numbers that multiply to minus 20, but add to minus 1. And I think that there is going to be minus 5 and 4, because minus 5 times 4 gives me negative 20, and minus 5 plus 4 gives me minus 1. So that's great news. So the pair of numbers I want is minus 5 and 4. What do I do with this? I use it to split up the middle term in my quadratic. So let's go ahead and do that. Maybe we'll just take this over here. There we go. Let's just write that out there. Minus x minus 10. There we go. And then let's split this now. So we're going to rewrite this as 2x squared minus 5x plus 4x minus 10. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try factorizing this. So looking to factorize these two terms here, what can we take out of there? What's the common factors? Well, just an x, I think. And then what's left behind? That's going to be 2x minus 5. And then now let's look at these two terms. What can you take out of there? What's common? I think just a 2. And so what's left behind, you'll have x minus, 2x minus 5. There we go. Now this is good news because your brackets, they match perfectly, which is great. Because what we can do is factorize that a little bit further now. So what we'll do is we'll end up with two brackets. Your first one's going to be 2x minus 5 because we've taken that out of the expression. So 2x minus 5, 2x minus 5. I'll highlight those so you can see what's left behind. You can see that what's remaining is just your x plus 2. And so that's going to form your other bracket there, x plus 2. Now do not forget that you had this x at the start. So make sure you put that back in. And there it is. Your cubic is now factorized. So quick recap. What did we do? You take out your common factors first, which was just an x. And what was left behind was a quadratic, which could factorize. And so follow your method for factorizing. You'll end up with two brackets, but do not forget that you had this x originally on the outside. So you must put that back in at the end. Okay, done. Now, here's two questions for you to practice. Have a quick go at this, jot down your answers, pause the video, and then I'll catch up with you in a couple of seconds to go through the answers. Righto, let's go through these answers. Now, with the first one, again, we're going to start, as we always did, by taking out common factors. So what's the greatest common factor that's going to come out of 2x cubed and negative 32x? Well, this time, I think what you can take out is 2x. So hopefully you've taken out 2x, right? That's the greatest common factor. So if you just took out an x, you've got to be careful, right? Because the numbers as well have a common factor of 2 that can come out of there as well. So what's now left behind? Well, we're going to have x squared minus 16. And there we now have the difference of two squares again. 16, a square number, so make sure you're looking out for that, right? So what we'll end up with is then 2x and then an x plus 4 and an x minus 4. There it is, done. So that there is fully factorized. Now with the next one, again, we'll have to start by taking out a common factor there of just x. So we'll have x on the outside, then we'll have 2x squared minus 7x and then minus 15. Great. Now we've got a quadratic in our brackets. Maybe it can factorize a bit further. So hopefully you've gone and followed that method again that I usually give you, right? So the one that was on the other slide. And I'm hoping you've now ended up with two further brackets there. What's that going to be? Let's have a think. I think 5 and 3, and that's going to be negative and that's plus. There we go. So that's hopefully the two brackets that you've ended up with, a 2x plus 3 and an x minus 5. And do not forget, there was an x on the outside, so make sure that's still there. Okay, done. There it is. Thank you for watching. That there is factorizing all finished. So we're done with that. I think the next topic is surds. So practice some factorizing in the meantime. Make sure you've got it absolutely nailed. Make sure you can factorize your cubics. Always take out your common factors. And if you've got a quadratic left over, look out for the difference of two squares, okay? But that's it. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you later.